Hello, my name is Adam and welcome to the Lead Realm. Today's video is a change of pace from my recent painting uploads. While I continue to work on the next unit for my Revenge of the Doomlord army, I wanted to do something a little different. So, every year I seem to end up picking up a fair bit of retro Warhammer, or old hammer if you like. Some of it is to finish projects that I've had on the go for a while, and some of it ends up being the start of something new. Over the past few months, I've picked up a mix of bits and pieces here and there, some from Facebook Marketplace, trades and purchases, others from eBay, and most recently from an excursion I took to a wonderful little wargaming shop that I found online. So I thought it might be nice to sit down, to go through everything properly, and take a look at what I've actually picked up recently. What's going to help me move my projects forward, and what other things might quietly turn into something new in the future. So, let's take a look. I'll start with something fairly straightforward. As many of you I'm sure are aware, Games Workshop recently did a made-to-order run of the classic Orcs and Goblins, so I couldn't resist picking up a set. As you may have seen, I've already got a forest goblin force that I've been working on for a while, so the idea here was just to bring a few orcs into that army. I didn't need to pick up the command models as I've already got those, so this was mostly about picking up some orc boys. These are the classic sculpts, lots of character to these. One thing I noticed as I was looking through them, they actually come with the old style shields, which I wasn't expecting. Although, slightly oddly, there are only 8 shields for 10 models. Still, I can't complain. I think these will fit in nicely with the rest of my goblin army. I also picked up the Rock Lobber from the same release. At the moment, I don't have any war machines in the army, so this felt like a good place to start. You get the crew, the chassis, all of the main components, but unfortunately no rock for slinging. So I might have to find something suitable that I can add. It's always a model that I've liked, and I think it will be good to give the goblins something with a bit more impact and damage dealing capability. Moving on to the first of the second-hand pieces that I've picked up. This one came from a Facebook trade, and as you can see, there are lots of little parcels for me to open. And inside, classic Hormagaunts from 2nd edition 40k. These are the older sculpts that have that slightly more alien Geiger look to them, which personally I always like, although they are incredibly frustrating to have standing on their base without toppling forward. I think I have pretty much all of the models that I need now to complete my Tyranid army, and if you'd be interested in seeing me put these together and paint those extra models, please do let me know in the comments. As you can see, a few of these are painted, some of the others are just undercoated, which might be helpful, as it saves me a bit of time. But most of these will take a dip into the paint stripper so that they're ready for me to put together. These will, of course, end up in my Tyranid army, which is one of the older armies I have. The next box is something completely different again. I will be honest and say I bought this quite a while ago at the start of the year from a Facebook Marketplace sale, and had forgotten exactly what was inside. But As you can see, it's more metal undead, and in this instance, it looks like 2 of the metal undead chariots, the same ones that I'm using in my Revenge of the Doomlord army. It looks like we have 1 completed chariot and 1 that's missing a few pieces, 1 of the wheels and 1 of the horses. So, I'll need to see if I can find some replacements for these online, or perhaps convert something myself. But you can rest assured that I will be doing my best to bring both of these chariots back to their former glory. It just might take me a little bit of time to figure that out. Now, this is probably the largest thing that I've picked up recently. I found this in a local wargames shop, and there's a large lot of mostly classic 5th edition Lizardmen. I already have the Bretonnians vs Lizardmen box set from 5th edition, with the Bretonnians being mostly painted. With these extra lizards, I should be able to build out the Lizardmen side of that army into a reasonable sized force. So I couldn't let this opportunity pass me by when I saw it. Before we look at the Lizardmen, there were a few other pieces that I picked up from the same shop to be used in other parts of my collection. Firstly, we have one of the classic rat ogres, which is used in my Skaven army as unit fillers. We also have a couple of pack masters. I think I still need a few more of these to complete my army. Next, an Empire character that I just liked the look of. I don't actually play Empire, and I don't think I have any other Empire models, but I would quite like to paint this guy. We also have a bag of old shields. These are always useful to have, especially new on sprue. And finally, an undead musician, which will go straight into one of my undead units. Next, we're going to look at the Lizardmen themselves. First up are 2 Stegodons, along with their crew. I'm not super familiar with the Lizardmen range, so I'm unsure if all of the pieces that are required to complete these models are here. I'll need to spend a bit of time checking through some images online and find out whether or not anything's missing. But overall, they look fairly complete, and I'm sure I'll be able to either kit bash or find a suitable alternative if anything is missing. Next, we have quite a large number of plastic Saurus warriors. They seem to just keep going. Perhaps I accidentally bought a spawning pool. It looks like we have roughly 40 that are usable, plus a few extras that are just missing arms or heads. But it's certainly a good solid base for building up those units. We also have a good number of the plastic skinks, around 37 in total. Most of these plastics will need stripping, but we've got a good amount to begin work on that army. And then we have a selection of metal models, some skink commands, and a couple of heroes. Some Saurus command models, although I think that perhaps one of these is a temple guard. I need to go away and check. Then we have a couple of loose temple guard, and a few of the newer resin finecast chameleon skinks. While the chameleon skinks are nice models, I think I might try and find the original metal ones of the same vintage as the rest of this army, so perhaps might try and trade these ones away. And finally, probably the most interesting piece that I picked up. I always liked these old mail order boxes. The artwork, the feel. Getting one of these through the door when you were a kid was the most amazing feeling, thinking of all the treasures that were stored inside. But what's inside this one? An old high elf man-o'-war fleet. Now, I never actually played man-o'-war back in the day, so this is all new to me. But the ships themselves look to be in good condition. They've still got their original banners, and overall appear to be complete, minus a few missing pieces such as a couple of the banner poles, which I might need to make or find replacements for. However, I can't imagine that will be too difficult. Having never played or owned any man-o'-war in the past, I'm really looking forward to putting my own spin on these ships, and maybe even getting a game in. Have you ever played Man-o'-War? What should I be looking out for? Do I even have a complete fleet here? Would love to hear what you think about that game in the comments. So, that's everything that I've picked up over the first few months of the year. I thought it might be interesting to show how I go about collecting Oldhammer and retro Warhammer, rather than going onto eBay and other sites looking for specific models. I tend to pick up lots and use that as the way to determine how my armies come together and what projects I work on next. So as you can see, I have a mix of things here, some of which will be able to slot into my existing armies, and a few that may trigger entirely new collecting journeys. Once I finish my current undead project, I might put a poll up to see what people would like to see next. What you've seen here today is just a tip of the iceberg. I have a huge collection of unbuilt Warhammer sitting in my basement, and a few built armies ready for painting sitting in the display cases. So, why not leave a comment and let me know what you're working on at the moment? But for now, thanks for watching, and as always, stay old school and long live the lead.